Hello there, and welcome to News Tonight here on UBC TV. On sign language, it is Elizabeth Nekakoni, and I am Rukidi Kiijanangoma, and we are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. Now, President Yoweri Museveni, in the company of the First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, hosted a group of residents from Chiruhura and Kazo districts at their country home in Rwachitura. Now, the meeting followed a field study conducted by the group at Richard Nyakana's model farm in Rwengaju, Fort Portal. During the interaction, the residents commended President Yoweri Museveni for encouraging them to participate in the money economy. We have more in this story.
The group who initially visited the president at his farm in Kisozi, Gomba district in February of this year and pledged to join him in mobilizing Ugandans to create wealth through commercial agriculture with Echibaro. The president was happy to know that the group heeded to his advice and agreed to tour Nyakana's farm, and they saw with their eyes what he had been telling the country to do in order to get out of poverty.
These people here, we are still working for Echida Chonka, but also nomadic, not staying in one place. So I was telling you, these people who are children of the pioneers, these are children of the pioneers I started with. The elders who were who were older than me that time. Actually, they were many of them were much older, either much older or slightly older. So therefore, we had to deal with the number one, deal with the nomadism. Show them that nomadism was not necessary, and the reason they were nomadic was because they were running away from diseases, cattle diseases, because they didn't have a scientific answer to them. We told them that no, you don't have to run away from the disease, you can stay in one place and you kill the cause of the disease.
He also pledged to construct a demonstration farm similar to that of Mr. Nyakana at Inshara Government Ranch. The president further pledged to provide silage choppers to every parish and tractors to every sub-county in the districts. On the other hand, President Museveni advised his guests to refrain from the act of land fragmentation, emphasizing its inherent danger.
And the issue of pasture, we castigated bush burning because they were destroying the grass. So when they did that, the mortality of cows stopped, reduced. The cows were not dying so much. But it did not solve the issue of the Echibaro. Asio Echibaro is Aymar in Ateso. Aymar. The Echibaro. If I have 100 cows, are they enough to support my Ankore cows? Are they enough to support my family? To give a good life in a year? And our answer was no. If you have the Ankore cows, they will not be enough. Maybe you need 1,000.
On her part, the First Lady, Mama Janet Museveni, expressed appreciation to the group for heeding the president's advice to improve their livelihoods and the lives of those they lead through wealth creation. The meeting was also attended by area members of parliament, among other leaders. Justin Nakami, UBC News.
Now, Uganda police has reported a death of 91 people during the Easter weekend. Now, these include 45 lives lost in road crashes, while the other 46 lives were lost in general crime committed during the Easter weekend. Fred Enanga, the police spokesperson, says the crime rate this year's Easter weekend is much higher than that of last year.
Police registered major incidents totaling to 62 cases during this year's Easter policing, which is higher than that of last year, of 44 cases.
So we've seen an increase in incidents during this period. We registered majorly cases of murder by mob. We had 10 cases, then 9 cases of aggravated robbery.
Out of the 62 major incidents reported during the Easter weekend, 10 cases rose from mob action, 9 cases aggravated robbery, 8 cases of murder, 4 cases of domestic violence-related murders. 46 lives were lost, culminating into the arrest of 52 suspects.
The arrested include 20 suspected criminals who were terrorizing residents of the public in Chito, Mabanda, Sel, Matuga, Gombe Division, Nasana Municipality in Wakiso. And there was an operation on the hideouts of criminal gangs at Chito, Mabanda, Sel, Matuga, where we managed to arrest 20 suspects.
Other operations carried out in Parabek, Ramo district led to the arrest of 62 refugees from South Sudan over inciting violence.
We want to call upon the refugees, especially the Dinka and the Nuer, who are always in conflict, that when they are in our country in Uganda, they should really, it's an obligation for them to observe rule of law within this country. So we want to call upon them that these acts of violence are not necessary. They are already vulnerable as refugees, so they shouldn't cause more havoc again.
Meanwhile, the Police Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety registered 45 fatalities during the Easter weekend. These were recorded between the 28th of March to the 1st of April 2024. Apart from 45 lives lost, 125 people got serious injuries, and motorcyclists contributed to 49% of the total deaths registered.
And among the dead were 22 people who were motorcyclists, and these constituted 49% of the total crashes. 10 were pedestrians, and these constituted 22% of the total crashes. 5 people were passengers on motorcycles, which constituted 11%.
Traffic police enhanced its operations against road rules defaulters, and over 1,000 were arrested, some cautioned, others fined, while some arraigned in court.
A total number of 786 defaulters with invalid driving licenses were arrested and their vehicles impounded throughout the country. Out of these, 89 were without driving licenses, 435 were having expired licenses, 257 were driving out of class.
Uganda Police commits engagement of ghetto groups in fighting crimes through the Chief Political Commissar, Abdul Nasir Lowama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
The Parliament of Uganda has uploaded the Kabaka of Buganda, Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II, for championing the fight against HIV/AIDS. The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, said this as she led members of Parliament to Bulange Mengo to support the Kabaka birthday run. They bought kits worth 50 million Ugandan shillings. The Katikiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Maiga, advised the legislators to prioritize health matters while passing laws.
Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, Deputy Thomas Tayebwa, and members of Parliament arrived at Bulange Mengo and were welcomed by the Uganda's Katikiro, Charles Peter Maiga, and ministers. The leaders held a closed-door meeting before meeting MPs and other guests. Katikiro Maiga says Speaker Anita Among's visit to Bulange to support the Kabaka run is historical, being the first speaker to do so since the run started.
So this visit is very historic, ladies and gentlemen, because ever since we started the run, no Speaker of Parliament has been here for this purpose. No Speaker of Parliament has been here for purposes of participating with us in the run, like in an official manner. That's why this visit is very, very historic now, Rongo.
Maiga advised legislators not to be consumed by politics in passing laws but prioritize sectors that benefit all Ugandans like health.
I call upon Parliament to prioritize health in your legislative agenda. We call upon you to ensure that hospitals are spread out all over the country. Please ensure that all hospitals are equipped with medicines and drugs and equipment. Please ensure that health service providers are adequately paid. Let me tell you this, if it was up to me, the biggest pay would go to doctors and then to teachers. Maybe the other way around, I don't know which should come first.
Among appreciated Kabaka for taking the lead in the fight against HIV/AIDS.
We are here to support the kingdom. And in supporting the kingdom, the theme of today is men as stars in the fight against HIV/AIDS and save the girl child. And of course, it is the men also who start on these girl children. So I am happy that these men are the ones who are stars in fighting.
Speaker pledged to support and collaborate with the kingdom to transform people's livelihood.
And as members of parliament, as we go into the budgeting process, you've heard what the category said. We should be able to put a lot of money in medical health. People are dying of HIV/AIDS. And for us, we are going to support unconditionally. Those who want to talk can go and talk. Those who want to audit whatever we give out, that is their business. We are going to support you unconditionally for the good of this government.
The Parliament handed over a cheque of 50 million shillings to Katikiro to support the Kabaka Run, scheduled to take place on 7th April 2024. Meanwhile, the Katikiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Maiga, has advised the public to embrace the National Population Census set for 10th May 2024. This was during the courtesy visit paid to Katikiro by the Executive Director of Uganda Bureau of Statistics, Dr. Chris Mukiza, who requested Katikiro to be the ambassador to this year's census.
The news of the national census was well received, and I want to inform the public that this isn't about collecting taxes. This isn't about collecting taxes, because that's the biggest fear the ordinary people have. They think when they get counted, they realize you are above 18 and probably you're doing some work, and then tell us where you pay your taxes. I don't think these are necessarily related. I urge people to go and get counted. I urge people to give the information that UBOS requires. It's important, like the CEO of UBOS has told us, government must know where the schools are and where the hospitals are, and the state even of those hospitals and schools.
Dr. Chris Mukiza appealed to Katikiro to convey the message to Kabaka and accept to be counted with these people in the palace.
Requesting our player that you take our message to the king. First, that we send her best regards, and also, if possible, to accept to be counted. Because counting kings and presidents is not easy. We have to first seek permission, and we are sending you as our census champion. And we shall count him on the first day.
UBOS has supported the Kabaka Run, buying kits of 5 million shillings. Andrew Sebira compiled this report.
Now, the Ministry of Health has rolled out a mass yellow fever vaccination campaign in 53 districts, including Wakiso. Now, the exercise started today and was conducted in schools and various health centers.
The Ministry of Health mass yellow fever vaccination campaign in 53 districts also includes Wakiso. The exercise started today and was conducted in schools and various health centers.
Abazadde twabinforminga naye omusakire yali tulagira nti tuteeka ku implementinga policy usually mass immunization it's murumo gwaffe ku implementinga government policy eyo kyeva tukiriza ba doctors kujja wano.
In Kira municipality, the vaccination exercise went on well at different health centers. This campaign is intended to boost the immunity against the yellow fever.
We have this exercise targeting children of 1 year old up to adults of 60 years. So we have a very large community we are going to target, and this is the biggest vaccination drive we have ever carried out. Yeah, so after vaccination, we only advise that you should not do a blood donation for a period of 2 weeks. After that, you are free to do the donation.
Yellow fever vaccine is used to prevent infection of the yellow fever virus by causing your body to produce its own protection against the virus. In Ikira municipality, Chireka Health Center 2 and Boyogere Government Health Center 3 people were coming one by one, and the turn-up was low. Fatuma is a mother of 2 boys who are vaccinated, and she responded to government's call.
As today rolled out the yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign, and this is taking place in 53 districts and in the regions of Ankole, Masaka, Kampala, Soroti and Moroto. We hope that this will boost the immunity of the population against the yellow fever virus, which Uganda is among the 29 high-risk countries on the African continent. This exercise will last from 2nd April up to 8th April. The launch is on 4th in Buyikwe district, where the minister will officially flag off this exercise. We have started in school.
Ivan Juko, Nicholas Induga for UBC.
Now, the Parliament wants the government to develop clear policies to guide the phasing out of courses in the education and sports sectors. The legislators, through a report of the Parliamentary Committee on Education and Sports, faulted government for prematurely phasing out the certificates and diploma courses for comprehensive nursing. According to a report, the move has since 2022 affected the education and health sectors. The Minister of State for Higher Education, John Chrysostom Muyingo, calmed the MPs, saying that the move is progressing well. Daniel Mugoya reports.
On Wednesday, 2nd March 2022, the Member of Parliament for Koboko County North, Musa Nuwa, interested Parliament to look into the urgent decision by government to phase out certificates and diploma courses in comprehensive nursing. The report by the Parliamentary Committee on Education and Sports had not found space for the House to deliberate the matter. MP Nuwa had wanted Parliament to object the move. The Tuesday afternoon Parliament session, chaired by Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa, adopted the report despite being taken over by events. The report faults government for premature steps during the phase-out after the then affected students were not catered for, among others.
There were no instruments to support the pronouncement that would guide nursing training schools.
The committee wants government through the Ministry of Education and Sports to design academic programs to enable the in-service comprehensive nurses and the continuing students to undertake retraining to consolidate their new roles.
This would enable them to offset retraining costs and other related expenses and would signify government as empathetic.
The report also wants government to develop clear policies to guide the phasing out of courses in the education and sports sector to avoid future embarrassments of the like. The Minister of State for Higher Education, John Chrysostom Muyingo, told the MPs that the exercise was successful and has registered positive results.
We have looked at the job market needs. We have revised the curriculum of midwifery and then nursing so that we address the needs of the job market.
Meanwhile, Parliament has supported the Bank of Uganda decision to object the move by a foreigner to take over the leadership of Stanbic Bank Uganda. Omara Paul, the MP for Tuke County, asked Parliament to support the move after the Standard Bank Group had nominated a foreigner to succeed Anne Juko, the former CEO of Stanbic Bank Uganda, who was elevated to the regional role as the head of global markets. Anne Juko served the position of CEO Stanbic Bank since 2020 as the first female in the position, replacing Patrick Muhire.
The practice that is normally exercised is that foreign nationals are normally recruited as long as there are no capable nationals in that particular country. I would want to submit that the Standard Bank and Stanbic might not have explored opportunities for Ugandans who are capable of running that bank. I believe they are there.
Really, to me, I want to support the central bank for rejecting a non-Ugandan who was nominated. Because, these are issues, when the bank performs well, now they want to take it back themselves. This is our largest bank. If anyone has confidence in us, let them have a Ugandan. And we have them who are capable. Otherwise, out of the succession plan which they have been submitting to the central bank, why were they saying we have so and so and so and so? Then at the end of the day, you bring someone from another country.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
We'll now take a short break and return with much more. Stay with us.
On Wednesday, 2nd March
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar! My boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock on my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're Sotinge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Have you packed more with Harbour jelly and Harbour salt? It will protect your skin from skin rashes. Morbid back. It is a new, improved Morbid Harbour jelly. So soft and smooth. It is a Morbid Harbour jelly.
Tell me, kids, the scent. Any irritations? No more rashes and irritations. Morbid Harbour jelly and Harbour soap is rich in natural herbs for a smooth and glowing skin.
Morbid all day confidence.
The government of Uganda and the Uganda Bureau of Statistics is calling upon all stakeholders such as the chief administrative officers, city mayors, resident city commissioners, city clerks, city and division councillors, wards and LC chairpersons, as well as the residents and business communities to cooperate with the UBOS field teams as we embark on advanced preparations to conduct the National Population and Housing Census on the 10th of May 2024. The census will be a 10-day exercise to obtain statistical data and information that will be used for planning and policy formulation, including information on 1. How many we are, 2. Where we are, 3. How we are living, 4. What we own, and 5. Where we access services from. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics has now started listing of households and mapping in the 11 cities of Arua, Fort Portal, Gulu, Hoima, Jinja, Lira, Mbale, Masaka, Mbarara, Soroti, and in the Greater Kampala comprising of Kampala, Wakiso, and Mukono districts. For more information, please call 0755 342 128 or 0773 342 128. This message is brought to you by the Executive Director and Census Commissioner, Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Census 2024. It matters to be counted.
Are you planning or in the process of traveling abroad for work? Using irregular channels to find and travel for work abroad often seems cheaper and faster, but you risk being trafficked, mistreated, or forced to do work you did not agree to. Using proper channels is safer, offers more protection, and better access to support services when problems arise. Do not be deceived. Choose the proper channels. Always verify all information before traveling abroad for work by contacting the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, your local district labour office or DSOS office. You can also visit EEMIS website on eemis.mglsd.go.ug. This message is brought to you by the International Labour Organization with support from the Government of Switzerland.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Now, the Finance Committee of Parliament has tasked officials from the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development to produce a fiscal operations framework, confirmed resource envelope, detailed performance of wealth funds like the PDM, and a 10-fold strategy to ensure economic growth. They were appearing before the Finance Committee to present a ministerial policy statement and the budget for Treasury operations for financial year 2024-2025.
Officials from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, led by the State Minister for Finance in charge of General Duties, Henry Musasizi, and the State Minister in charge of Planning, Amos Logolobi, have appeared before the Finance Committee of Parliament to present their ministerial policy statement and budget for Treasury operations. The presentation was made on PowerPoint without hard copies provided to members of Parliament, which they said will not help them examine documents. They accused Minister Musasizi for laying dummy of the policy statement before the House.
The law requires us to present the policy statement by 15th and the estimates by 1st of April.
States in the ministerial policy statements that were laid did not include the budget estimates, which could not help us to work. But
if it wasn't a comprehensive policy statement, then it wasn't a policy statement.
Projections in the ministerial policy statement for Ministry of Finance indicate that domestic area budgeting have been reduced from 1 trillion to 287 billion in financial year 2024-2025. Some members of Parliament wanted to know why the reduction. Others wanted the ministry to explain why the budget for financial year 2024-2025 has been increased to 58 trillion from the 52 trillion.
From 52 to 58 is for us to understand, because time and again, it has been alleged it is hot air. It is hot air, there's nothing in it.
It's kind of request that the ministry gives us a resource envelope from 2021, 22 to 2024, 25, so that we see the trend.
And now it takes me to the question that I asked earlier. What are you doing for the planning function of the ministry to make sure that we
realize the 10-digit growth that the president has been talking about.
Minister for Finance in charge of general duties told members of the committee that the resource envelope is increasing because they expect to do better next financial year in terms of revenue collection.
We said Karuma, we are starting to pay over 481 billion. Simba, we are going to start paying, and also other. We have programmed increase in borrowing, and all this will result into the increase in repayments. That is why even the resource envelope, you will see the resource envelope changing from 52.7 trillion to 58, but all this is going into the commitments.
One of the members of parliament wanted to know how Ministry of Finance is doing to put the debt under control, emphasizing that the debt seems to be uncontrollable.
And I think we're in a debt trap. I think why a trap is something you get into and you find difficulty getting out of it.
That's probably an overstatement, because you are in a trap when you are not capable of servicing. You are still able to raise revenue for this country and use a portion of that revenue to service our debt.
Member of Parliament Karim Masaba expressed interest in how much money for PDM has reached beneficiaries because their presentation indicated that 51% has been paid out.
A week ago, and I tried to do some research, and unfortunately many parishes have not received any money this financial year. Some
arrangement you have has no connection between production and proper marketing. You are not involving proper off-takers.
Other issues examined by the committee is projections for the contingent fund that has been reduced from 171 billion from last year's budget to 167 for financial year 2024-2025. I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Gwetabinji.
East African Community EAC member states have been urged to build self-reliant armies to safeguard their sovereignty. Now, this call has been made by the Chief Executive Officer of the National Enterprise Corporation, NEC, Lieutenant General James Mugira, while opening a meeting of Chief Executive Officers of Defence Forces from the East African region. We have more in this story.
Lieutenant General James Mugira was opening a meeting of Chief Executive Officers of Defence Forces from the East African region. The Chief Executive Officers of Defence Forces from the East African region meeting in Kampala seems an opportunity to the East African Community member states to present a report on the performance of their respective military industrial facilities.
I do thank the organizers of the meeting for inviting me to open this meeting, whose stated purpose is to consider the progress of operationalization of the defense facilities offered for shared utilization, review of the status of implementation of previous decisions and directives of the Sectoral Council on Cooperation in Defense, and to conclude with an exhibition by the Republic of Uganda of her defense industrial products and services.
This meeting also offers hope to East African Community member states to build strong and sustainable military capacities to foster peace.
As you are all aware, defense industries are strategic facilities that are set up to provide self-reliance and a sustainable in-country capability for supplying the armed forces, especially during combat, thereby supporting the national defense of a country.
Lieutenant General James Mugira fears that most African countries risk losing their sovereignty if they continue depending on foreign military aid.
The need for self-reliance by African armed forces, because of our well-known history and the changing global environment, cannot be overemphasized. You cannot talk of sovereignty as a country when you are totally dependent on products and services from foreign countries for your national defense.
Research and development is another area of strategic importance where most African countries are playing catch-up. It entails acquisition, upgrading and development of high-technology weapons to adapt global military standards. Diano Olweny-Peters, UBC News.
Now, a situational analysis report launched by the NGO organization Beyond the Scars shows that acid violence in Uganda is escalating. The findings indicate that women are the most affected victims, accounting for 59.9% of cases, while men comprise 40.1%.
Attack. So it is a very emotional thing and a very
Acid violence presents a significant challenge in Uganda, inflicting devastating consequences on victims, their families, and society at large. The report identifies various causes of these acid attacks, including love-related issues, property disputes, and work or business-related conflicts.
People don't have, what we found in the research is that people don't have a dispute resolution mechanism that speaks to them. And once that dispute resolution mechanism does not speak to them, they find the quickest solution, quickest accessible, cheap solution. And acid has become a favorite weapon in Uganda.
Juliet Wukira, a survivor of an acid attack perpetrated by her boyfriend in 2017, shares how her life and societal perception changed dramatically after the incident.
I lose my eye, as you can see, I lose my ear. So life changes completely, because when after the hospital you can't go back to the society, you feel free, you feel comfortable. Life changes a lot because you can't even ask a job. People judges you before knowing that you can do this or can do that.
Representing numerous other survivors, Wukira calls on the government to take on more action to support acid attack victims.
It's a murder case, though our government, we don't have a previously law that this is, they take it as an assault. Though it's, I may call it attempted murder because some of them die. Yeah, so I would like to ask our president if he can sit there and has a deference.
Civil rights activist Aboneka Michael highlights the absence of standard laws to address such cases despite their prevalence in communities.
No specific law on the issues of acid attack and violence, like it is for others. Like you see the Anti-Terrorism Act, we are able to know what is the crime of terrorism. So it's clear. So we need to have that clear.
Mixed reactions emerge from other activists regarding the surge in acid attack incidents.
I know in the past documentation of these, some of these reports have not been made well. One, because some of these acid survivors, reporting some of these cases has not been easy for them. You find that someone is in Mulago for 6 months, cannot follow up on their cases, or some stop at just reporting level, maybe investigation level, and they have not been prosecuted.
Working pro bono for this entity, we think that we must create a system where we track the use of acid, track the production of acid, track its storage, track its use. If we do those three things, we believe we can reduce the number of people who can access acid and use it illegally. But there are very many other things that we can do. We need social sensitization to probably address the issue of lack of knowledge to access to dispute resolution systems in Uganda.
Survivors of acid violence often endure severe consequences such as vision and hearing loss. Justin Nakami, UBC News.
Members of the NRM Nakawa Brigade have visited Naguru Reception Center and handed over essential items to vulnerable children there. They donated food, clothing, bedding and soap. Now, their visit aimed to bring joy to the children and provide them with essential items to improve their quality of life.
During their visit to children without guardians at the Naguru Reception Center, they provided essential items including food, clothing, bedding, soap, among others. The NRM Nakawa Brigade members emphasized uplifting lives of the most vulnerable children in communities.
To welcome everyone here who has escorted us to Naguru Reception Center for the love and support they've showed the kids.
The leader in the NRM Brigade, Sempi Jadeo, said they are ensuring that those who are downtrodden and hopeless are uplifted.
Come with many things, at least to support these children, so that at least if they are there and they hear Nakawa Brigade as NRM movement group, which have come at least to support and to make the NRM movement to shine again.
The NRM Nakawa Brigade are working towards making the principles of the NRM visible. And another leader, Musmenta Barbara, called for a collective effort in supporting vulnerable persons.
Hope that people get a leaf from us and come and support such children and such people who are in need. We would love to touch anyone's life if we can, so we shall continue doing the little we can so that our politics has a positive impact on our people. We don't want to just politic without a touch of what? Changing lives. Like we say, we are working towards development.
The children housed here have no parents, and the caregivers here are overwhelmed, making it difficult to provide for their needs. Mike Bakabulindi for UBC.
Now, culture has become a unique aspect and people retrace their roots. The Kuku ethnic grouping have formed the Kuku Community Trust to retrace their roots. The patron, Joseph Kasolo Torres, told the Minister of State for Finance, Amos Lugolobi, that they are seeking to retrace their culture, norms and values. And to achieve this, they have started with language.
Kuku tribe, also known as the Bakuku, is a tribe in the eastern and northwestern parts of the country, although others hail from districts of Moyo, Yumbe, and Busana in Kayunga district. The Kuku community have formed a Kuku Community Trust to unite its scattered Kuku people on norms and cultural values. The patron, Joseph Kasoro Torres, says the initiatives include songs, writing books, among others.
We are in the stand to work together with our community, Kuku Community Trust, to guide us and to promote our language, especially in the side of the young children. Our young children cannot talk Kuku very well. In the side of writing some other dictionaries to teach our young generation, our young children generation to learn Kuku properly.
The Kuku community met State Minister for Finance Amos Lugolobi while conducting a launch from the Musalaba Evangelical Choir as part of this initiative to retrace the roots of Kuku community. Minister Lugolobi commended the Kuku tribe for their solidarity.
The Kuku, they are very strong on certain values. One of the key values is the fear of God. They are so religious, they fear God, and therefore they are so disciplined. If anyone goes out one of their values, they are punished by the community because they always live in solidarity, together, as one family.
The Kuku community also plan to translate the Bible into their local Kuku language.
Bamaze okutuka mu ndagano empya ekitabo kya Luka efulumye n'ekitabo kya bikola bwe batume. Kakati bali mu process ey'okugenda maaso okuvunula Bible eyo.
I think it is a good thing that they are doing. We want to encourage it. There's no problem as government. Government does not have a problem with translating a Bible in any language. And they are part of the Church of Uganda.
Rebecca Nantongo, UBC News.
Now, as schools implement the new curriculum, educationists and parents need to nurture children in co-curricular activities. Buganda Kingdom Miss Tourism Sanyu Mugabe says the world today is both on academics and thinking talents.
The Buganda Kingdom Miss Tourism Sanyu Mugabe has hailed the Ministry of Education and Sports for introducing a curriculum targeting hands-on training and innovation. She advises parents and educationists to encourage children to participate in co-curricular activities. Buganda Kingdom Miss Tourism was at Seta High A-Level campus in Mukono for the Interclass Competitions 2024. She also said the world today is both academics and talents like music and football.
The students have been able to exhibit various talents, dancing, acting,
these are training grounds because the world we are in today is not basically academic, but most people that are successful are embracing their talents and using them. Also, students that have been engaged in sports witnessed that the basketball team is winning. We've witnessed that the debaters are winning. So encourage your children to pursue their co-curricular activities.
Students participated in modeling, science exhibition, music, dance and drama. The function was also coincided with voting Mr. Seta, Agaba Maximilian and Mrs. Seta, Nakazi Andrienne 2024, and winners were awarded prizes. The headmaster Seta High A-Level Campus Songa Ramadan says they allow learners network to determine their destiny.
Our dear parents and guests, I want to inform you that we have trained for 1 week and we are able to pull out this. As you've seen, we are complementing our excellence in academics with co-curricular. We have just hosted the basketball and we won. We are going to represent the district.
Ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalippagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripsi. Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *165*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited, erungamizibwa banka enkulu ya Uganda.
Attention everyone, the Ministry of Health has planned to vaccinate all persons aged 1 year to 60 years old to protect them against yellow fever disease. The mass vaccination will take place in 53 districts in these regions: Kampala, Buganda, Teso, Ankole and Karamoja. Vaccination is free and available at all government health facilities and outreach posts in these regions. The vaccination campaign will take place from April 2nd to April 8th, 2024. The vaccine is safe, effective and free of charge and has been approved by World Health Organization and Ministry of Health. This message is from Ministry of Health with support from Gavi.
Welcome back. Let's have a look at the latest in business. The Commissioner, Bilateral Trade in the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, Cleophas Ndoreri, has emphasized the critical role of skills development in fostering sustainable trade growth. He made the remarks at the Buyer Mission closing ceremony here in Kampala. Here is our reporter, Sudat Kaye, with more.
Drawing from his extensive experience in bilateral trade and SME marketing, Cleophas Ndoreri highlighted a challenge faced by many SMEs where a focus on logistical concerns often precedes the importance of skill acquisition.
That attitude I talked about of your mind saying, am I going for transport refund? Am I going for... That's the attitude also that we need to change in many of our SMEs. And they will tell you here, when they go back down to the village, to the people they are working with, some of them, the attitude is still that side. That is why even within the parish development model, our buyers here, we do have what they call a parish development model, where we want to train people right from the parish level, people who are outside the money economy. And one of the pillars of that is a mindset change.
He emphasized a paradigm shift in the mindset of SMEs to prioritize skill development. Ndoreri referenced policy, advocacy, capacity building and enforcement development model in cultivating a conducive environment for SME growth.
Uganda is a signatory to various bilateral and multilateral trade and investment agreements to facilitate and boost trade. Therefore, the capacity to fulfill the markets which are out there is sufficient. The markets, besides the European markets, we have the African continental market, we have the COMESA markets, we have the EAC markets.
Representing the Executive Director of the Uganda Export Promotion Board, Noreen Kamoti outlined the strides made in increasing export volumes across various sectors.
Uganda Export Promotion Board is also working on strengthening Uganda's commercial presence in strategic markets. For example, Uganda Export Promotion Board is fostering strategic relationships with trade and business support organizations in target markets such as Trade Facilitation Office of Canada. Similarly, Uganda Export Promotion Board is supporting the private sector establish partnerships and collaborations with companies in the target market.
Joyce Atuhire of the African Women Agribusiness Network emphasized gender-inclusive policies and access to finance in fostering women's participation in value chains and export markets.
We also make sure that we want to increase access to finance for women because access to finance is one of the input that is needed to be able to trade. So we facilitate that to make sure they at least access finance. And we are advocating for gender inclusive and legal policies that are able to favor women.
The Executive Director of Masha Coffee, Sylvia Achebet, highlighted the transformative potential of skills development programs.
We were able to go to Anuga, that is Germany, with a few of my other colleagues who are here. And the experience we got there was not simple. There was a lot of things to learn. And you look back and you say, okay, I can do a little more.
Through Collaborate, Uganda will diversify export markets and empower SMEs to thrive in the global economy. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Sports news now, and the best athletes of March have been rewarded during the 40-bet Real Stars Sports Monthly Awards at Lazio Restaurant in Lugogo. Here is our sports reporter, John Ban-Sentamu, with more.
In which Uganda performed well at the African Games in Ghana, the 40-bet Real Star Sports Monthly Awards for March have been won by those that excelled at the Games. In badminton, Husna Kobukabe, who won a doubles gold medal and added a silver medal, was the best. Weightlifter Davis Nyoita, who also won 3 African Games medals, bettered all others. In football, another player that exhibited quality skills as the football hippos claimed African Games silver, Hakim Motebi, was at the podium.
It has been a good edition. Remember, we are recognizing the best in March. We normally consider those guys who went out in Ghana or African Games and did as well. We went for gold medals and then silver medals. Below that, it was not that good performance. Unfortunately, that lady who brought us a medal from badminton, Husina, wasn't here. She's in Madrid preparing for the Olympics. And again, Nyoita, who brought us 3 medals, 2 silver medals in weightlifting and then 1 bronze, was also in Thailand. We didn't manage to have him here, but all went well because he was represented by his headmaster, Majabas from Kakunguru Memorial.
In rugby, Lydia Namabiro for her performances edged Peace Lekuru and Norbert Okeny.
And congratulations to those medalists there. Let's look at talent development and Sports Day at Laurencia Junior School in Sanji was all about races, competitions and games, a celebration of teamwork, perseverance and the invaluable life lessons that sports imparts on children. The rector, St. Lawrence Schools and Colleges called upon parents to support and encourage their children's participation in sports.
Sports plays a vital role in the holistic development of children, fostering physical fitness, mental resilience, and social skills.
First and foremost, I'd like to first thank our dear parents for turning up today on a Easter Monday. Thank you for loving us, young ones. Thank you very, very much.
The rector, St. Lawrence Schools and Colleges, Maria Justin Tulina, says engaging in sports teaches invaluable lessons such as teamwork, discipline and perseverance, qualities that are essential for success both on and off the field.
And therefore, as big sister, I'm suggesting genuinely, please give us those kids who have participated in almost all items. Even if they have doesn't win, they will have to go and eat with the winning house. Dear parents, thank you very much. Whatever you're seeing here, it's your effort. The money that you give us is what we do with these young ones. Thank you very much for supporting us, and thank you for loving Rense Junior School.
The Dean of Programs, St. Lawrence Schools and Colleges, Harriet Nambiru Chigundo, says supporting their children's involvement in sports goes beyond cheering from the sidelines, but involves instilling a lifelong love for physical activity, nurturing a positive mindset towards competition, and fostering a sense of sportsmanship and fair play.
The teachers for the organization and for the arrangement, giving a chance to all the students to distribute themselves to the different talents. I loved even the little ones of baby class, nursery 1, nursery 2, and nursery 3. It was amazing. And there were so many lessons personally as a teacher, as drawing. Because if I don't have a talent of sports, what lessons do I learn from sports?
Parents can play an active role in nurturing their children's interests in sports by providing opportunities for practice, enrolling them in extracurricular sports programs, and serving as positive role models for active living.
The lessons we learn from sports, it's not only the talented that benefit from it, but all of us learn from it. And let us encourage it even when we don't have any talent. For example, it improves on the activeness of every child. I normally tell the secondary students that the way you walk is the way you think. So if someone is a sports person, it will activate his brain, it will recharge his brain to think faster. So
sports provides children with a healthy outlet for stress, anxiety, and pent-up energy, promoting emotional well-being and resilience in the face of challenges. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
It is exactly 9 in the studios of UBC TV. We finally come to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for having kept us company in sign language. It is Elizabeth Nakakuni, and I am Rukidi Kiijanangoma. And remember that our next and final bulletin comes your way at 10 p.m. See you then.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret? Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM? Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk. No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving. Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.